I've been going to Abundant Life since pretty much 2005 when I was in 7th grade. My mom, my brothers, and I, we came here. We actually went to a smaller church. We came here and just were really touched by the Word of God and decided to be members a few months after. So about 17 years now we've been members. And I guess what really impacted us to become members and to really commit ourselves to this church is just hearing the Word of God and the biblical principles that we're taught, whether it was tithing, just radical obedience, just the blessing and prosperity, and also how to deal with tough times in your life. So the biggest challenge for me was understanding that point where I was solely committed and convicted to obey God, not just because He's God, but because I want to and I love Him and I want to serve Him and give Him glory in everything I do. Experiencing that was very difficult because I'm like, okay, God, I know this is your money, but it's still hard for me to trust you with my money. And so I decided actually, when Abundant Life has classes, and I've taken a few of them, and one of the classes was actually Financial Victory. And it was a huge blessing to my life, just understanding that just because I've earned the money, God gave me the ability and the hands and the work ethic to earn that money. So it's all His in the end. I actually am currently in a relationship. I'm engaged right now to the man of my dreams, and I never thought I would find that person that I truly loved. We had certain desires in our hearts for what we wanted our wedding to be. So with that, we wanted to be able to pay for those things, and we had a dream to pay everything in cash. And I'm like, the only way I'm gonna start that is if I start saving money. So back in January 2016, I started saving that 10% consistently without fail. And then in May 2016, when Pastor John came to the church with the All In campaign, and he made mention of think about and pray about what you would like to give, what you would love to give, and what you would dream of giving. And so I had a couple numbers come floating through my head when he said that, but I decided, okay, God, I don't know if you're just telling me these things just because I'm like getting a little too ambitious for myself, or if this is something you really want me to do. So as I continued to seek God and really pray about it, a number came to my head, and it happened to be the number of the savings account at that time that I had saved since January. And I was like, okay, God, I mean, that's a stretch. But I mean, over a course of a year, I could do that. You know, I could figure that out. And Pastor John then said, you know, I want you to commit, and I want you to give your first fruits. I want you to give the best first fruit. And when I was looking at that number, I felt God tell me as I was praying about it that He wanted me to double that number, and He wanted the first fruits to be the savings. Okay, God. Well, like Pastor John's taught us, radical obedience equals radical blessing. So I'm going to radically obey you, even though I'm a little doubtful. And so that first fruits, that morning I transferred my savings into my checking and immediately wrote that check. And there was actually just a peace. I was kind of stressed out through the process, but whenever I gave that, it was just like a indescribable peace that I'm like, okay, God, I've done my part, I've obeyed you, now you're going to do your part. I also realized whenever I gave that money, I was giving the foundation of my marriage to Him, because I saw that money as the foundation of starting a wedding and starting a marriage, because I knew I had some financial debt that I didn't want to bring into the marriage. So letting that savings go, I'm like, I could put it to the wedding, I could put it to my debt, I could put it to a lot of things, but giving it to God just really challenged me, but also gave me peace that He's gonna do the rest. He's gonna provide. Opportunities after opportunities happened, whether I got a job promotion, you know, people blessed us financially as like an engagement gift, and I didn't even realize there was such thing as engagement gifts, so that was a huge blessing. And then even just being able to have the time management to have a second part-time job for a couple months to really add to that savings. And God multiplied that savings from, you know, January to June. I doubled it from June to December, that savings. And by the end of the year, going into the new year that I knew I was going to get married, I'm like, God, you're just so faithful. Like, I couldn't imagine getting this money. Basically, if I had continued the path that I was on, I probably would have made the same amount, but instead I gave you part of it and doubled it. And the way you open His promises and the way you tap into his favor and his goodness in those, whether it's financial prosperity, joy, peace, any of those factors, it's by trusting him and obeying him. And when you do your part, it opens the door for him to do his part. And it's just, he's really taught me, and I've seen that, like, he is faithful. I've heard 100 times, yeah, you do this, you're gonna be blessed, but to actually live it and see the fruit of that and see the process in my actions is just so fulfilling. And God, he really is a sovereign and faithful God, and he is a God of his word.